when I go to different places, people always tell me how they want to break into tech, they want to be a developer, they want to be a programmer, they want to be in cloud, they want to be this, they want to be that. Look at these books, both stacks, right? I'm telling you right now, a lot of y'all really aren't built for this. Y'all just too soft, right? It might not be a good take, but a lot of y'all just too soft, right? Y'all don't want to put the work in. You don't want to go ahead and get these books and dig in. I don't want to hear about no chat GPT. I don't want to hear about all the beautiful things with Claude and whoever else. I don't want to hear about vibe coding and the thing is going to do that. It's not happening. Not anytime soon, right? You're going to have to dig in, get these certs. If you're going the route of someone who is going to be in cloud, right? Or you're going to be dealing with operating systems or networking systems, you're going to have to dig in the books over here, right? On this side, right? You're going to have to get in the cloud. And I think I have one programming book over here, React. But you're going to have to dig in over here, right? And the other ones, if you want to be a really good developer, you're going to have to put the time in, right? If you want to make good money, you want to work for the Netflix of the world, you're going to have to put the time in the books. You're going to have to put the time in to your portfolio. You're going to have to put time into growing who you are, what your skill set is. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Don't feel bad just because you had to put work in. Other people before you, that's what they've done. They've built projects, right? They've worked on stuff. They've gotten the certifications, right? They didn't just cheat their way to the top or guess their way to the top. It's not happening. You can't even use ChatGPT and even gain this type of information from a prompt, right? Because here's why. No one's telling you, everybody's telling you gimmicks. You don't have the vocabulary. You don't know what you're supposed to ask for. You don't know what you're supposed to say, right? You don't know that you're supposed to have certain ports open. If you wanted to develop a website, you don't know what cross-site scripting is, right? You don't know what type of remote forgery you're supposed to defend against. You don't know what ports you actually need open, what you don't need open, what's excessive, what's the minimum amount. You don't know what an IDS is. You don't know what an IPS is. You don't know what any of these terms are, right? So that's why I say start with at least one security book, right? And one operating system, right? If you're going to go to the DevOps side. If you're going to be a developer, find you a development language that you want to use. Do a little research on where it is you want to be. If you want to be on the back end, if you want to do full stack, right? If you want to do machine learning, you need to know what language you want to use for yourself. Then I want you to start thinking about your future, right? And why are you doing it, right? If you think about your future and you say, okay, I want to be in tech because I want to ball out, which is fine, that's valid. I ask people that. I give them three options. Do you want to ball out, have a sustainable lifestyle, or sustain your lifestyle, or do you want to retire early? Because all of these avenues are possible in tech, right? You can gain your money and spend all types of money. If that's what you want to do, you want to get a Lamborghini, you want to get a nice home, you want to build a family, you can do that. If you just want to sustain your lifestyle, you can do that as well, right? If you want to retire early, you can do that too, right? Especially with the way that remote jobs are these days. You can get one remote job, be really good at it. If it pays 6 figures, you can go to different states. You can go to Ohio, Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota. You can be in parts of North Carolina, parts of Virginia. There's all types of states you can be in. Alabama, South Carolina, if you want to be there. Mississippi. You can pick one of these places, or even Oklahoma. You can pick one of these places that are relatively inexpensive when you're making a 6-figure salary and you can retire early. Right? So keep that in mind, right? But what I don't want you guys to do is get discouraged because it's hard. But no one is telling you this is hard work up front, no matter what you choose, right? Whatever your path is, it's going to be hard work, and it's going to be consistent work. Every 6 months, they're coming out with something new because these companies have shareholders. They have to keep them invigorated and excited about what they have going on. So the only way for the companies to do that is to sell this new pitch, right? Even with this cloud thing. People think the cloud is new, but if you go technical on it, no, it's not. We've been working with remote services for a long time, right? We've had virtualization for a long time. And which is even older, we've had containerization for a long time. And that's what these books will give you, that information. You will be able to see and understand that the technology, it just pings around and then comes back, right? A lot of times it's just pinging around, right? And you come back to the core concepts, right? Ones and zeros. That's all it is at the end of the day, right? You have to know that, right? Ones and zeros, right? And just keep working hard, right? Even myself, I get frustrated a little bit because there's some changes coming out sometimes and I'm not feeling up to it. But then I get excited again about it, right? I feel inspired because it's something new coming out. I get to learn that, and it makes my life a little easier sometimes. Sometimes they're overselling, and you figure that out too. After gaining years and years of experience of going down new rabbit holes, you can say, oh yeah, this one isn't fully vetted, and it's not going to be here for long. It's going to die out, right? We see a lot of that stuff a lot of the times, right? And whereas you have what we have here, these two books, right? If you look at the spine here, you got JavaScript and Java. And people are still using this to these days, right? These are the head first books. I recommend you get started with that. If you are looking into JavaScript or Java, they're great. They're excellent for both, right? Then you have Cracking the Coding Interview, right? This is where you can learn about big O notation. You can also learn about stacks, queues, a lot of other stuff related to interviews for coding, data structures and algorithms, right? For instance, I didn't go to school for computer science, so I had to do a lot of self-study here and looking at different stuff right here, right? Sorting, bubble search, sorting and searching, recursion. You have to learn object-oriented programming. This covers all that stuff, trees and graphs. And then the basics, arrays or strings or lists, depending on what programming language that you're actually using. Sorting and searching, we already saw that again. Okay, math and logic puzzles they have here. And this is a really good book, all right? Great to know. Great to know, right? Especially now, if you really want to be head and shoulders above others or develop your own product, you're going to need to know those basics, all right? So don't take that for granted. Don't skip it. If you already know it, use it. Stay up to date with it, right? And then over here, I have the Old School Security Plus. Great exam. It gives you all the basics that you need, right? A framework you can actually follow. That's why I do like certs. I know certifications had got a bad name over the years because you had like all these cert farms that people would just go to and get certified. But this right here covers all the bases that you would need to be successful. Mail gateways, URL filtering, DNS security, how and when you should use NSLOOKUP or dig, right, to find different information on your network. Trojans, mandatory access control, role-based access control, rule-based access control. It'll cover all that, right? LDAP, what do you use that for? The different type of ports. So this book is useful. Get the latest version. I think they are at 701. This is 501 right here, right? Another book I looked at, AWS SysOps Administrator. If you want to do cloud, the Solutions Architect is the vanguard for AWS. This is just another book that I was just looking at. It came to the end of the year, a year or two ago, and I needed to spend some money on education material, and I decided to get this. and it was useful. It let me know about AWS organizations and other AWS concepts that I wasn't really familiar with. This is really good. It talks about elastic block storage, optimization, so SSM, Beanstalk, stuff like that. Great book. Docker Deep Dive, right? By Nigel Poulton. This is a good one, right? I don't know if this is still the standard, but I got this a couple years ago. Gives you all the stuff you need, the basics you need for Docker. If you want to do containerization or if you want to go on to Kubernetes. And you have Terraform for infrastructure, right? All things you need in here that are essential, right? It has loops, expressions, different Terraform stuff for accessing AWS. This is a great book to start here, okay? The Kubernetes book, again by Nigel Poulton. Same thing with Kubernetes. I even have my old, what I was using for a bookmark in here, right? The stickers here. But you gotta put the work in, guys. You gotta sit here, get it in, and go for it. Pro React. This used to cover all React 16 stuff. It's a little outdated now, but it's still relevant, right? It still gets you through if you get your hands on a book like this. It's very in-depth, very detailed. You can start your own businesses with things like this. Knowing this type of knowledge, you can develop your own websites or anything like that. This was the AWS Certified Professional Cert that I was preparing for years ago. It was a really good one by Neil Davis. It's really detailed, straight to the point, no fluff. I love that about it. It gave me all the real actionable items about each service, RDS with DynamoDB, MySQL, Aurora, all that type of stuff. Use cases, use scenarios. So that's another good one, right? Now, if you're looking for someone to do these things with you, to help you through these and work with you, I'm building a whole community over at school. It's Case DevOps Hub. Again, that's Case DevOps Hub. It's only $9 a month right now. And if you want to just buy the whole year, get all free access to all the webinars, it's going to be a little under $500, right? It might seem like a lot, but it's really not. You're going to get access to me. You get to have one-on-one session with me. You get to have access to the webinars. You get to have access to any courses that I'm running that month, right? Where I dig into the Security Plus, where I dig into Linux, right? Or where I dig in on Python, or I give you essential elements and skills to landing positions, right? I'm also going to be doing some light business work because I am a business owner, and I always recommend that people understand how to have a business. Not a business to be a billionaire, but enough business to bring you some income, right? Supplemental income is huge. I'm a huge advocate of it, and you should be participating in it, right? We need an economy where people know how to pull in 30 to 50K by utilizing the skill sets they either use all the time in their job or that they use through trial and error in life. That's the only way that we'll have a good, positive environment and country over here, is when everyone is partially self-sustainable. We don't have to worry about large corporations always setting the tone for where we and our families make a living or have an opportunity to just eat, right? Remember, like, comment, and subscribe. See you in the next video.